contact between the two of them. Oh, there's contact. There's contact. And there's contact between Shenington and Campbell Pilling.
Good morning and welcome to Shenington for the first round of the 2024 Daniel Ricciardo Series. It is the beginning of a new era for the championship, as this weekend marks the debut of the two Arrive and Drive cadet categories. Yesterday we had a thrilling and unpredictable DRS45 Grand Final. Leo Edger took the honours in that one, and today it's the turn of the DRS35 drivers to feature on the live stream. And we've also got the return of DRS100 as well, our juniors. That category is going to be as hotly contested as ever, and of course our DRS125 seniors will also feature as well. Sam Faulkner is still the benchmark there, but if qualifying is anything to go by, the competition is going to be hotly contested throughout the field. Looks set to be much more intense than last year in our 125s. So we're well set for an absolute cracker all around here today at Shenington. It's go time for our DRS100 drivers as they prepare for their first heat race of the season, and we'll have a look at the starting grid. It's going to be Freddie Farrell on pole position. Absolutely blistering lap from him yesterday, a 44.758. That was almost 2/10 in front of Kai Newman, and as we remarked on quite a few occasions during yesterday's running, the gap from Farrell to Newman, or from first to second, is the same as the gap from second to eighth. So it's remarkably competitive in the battle up front among the DRS100s, and I'd have to say that Farrell's lap was just something of an outlier. We've got certainly looking a bit hazy in front of us. It doesn't look like it's raining, but I wonder, so we do have some yellow flags out on the circuit. Certainly no clouds or anything that would indicate rain. But drivers are ready to get underway. They're a bit fast going down the Hanger Straight there as they come round for what should be a start, and Andy, as ever, is over there just asking them to bring that speed down. Freddie Farrell and Kai Newman on the front row, Dorian Malik and Nyron Evans behind. And with the top four not involved in this championship from last year, it's going to be anyone's guess as to who wins the championship this year. Let's see if they get it underway this time. Yes, they will. And through they go, and that is Farrell taking the lead as Newman tries to hold on for second. They're side by side in many areas behind, but they get through Cafe Corner safely, and towards Stratford they go. Newman holds the position on the inside, and there's some two, looks like potentially even three wide going into the Bruno chicane. Farrell already with a big lead going down the Hanger Straight and into Hanger Corner. And he looks like he's going to be potentially as much as possibly second ahead, or he's going to get the best of runs there. Out of the Wilkins hairpin to end the lap, and here they come to complete the first lap. And it is about an 8/10 lead for Farrell there. Yeah, 8/10. showing a yellow flag on, oh yeah, for several drivers off at Wilkins over on the far side. And this is going to be, you would imagine, a full course. I'm just trying to see who that is. We might well catch the tail end of the incident here on the camera. So I think I saw 148. Red flag is out. So I saw 148135. So that's going to be Jakub Milcharski. Looks like 148 is going to be Daxton Groves. Couldn't see the third driver involved. Could see is that 165. That's going to be Oscar Cole. And so we're going to have a red flag for this three-car incident that appears to have occurred on the run into Wilkins there as they were jostling for position. It's bad news, of course, for Freddie Farrell, who, having pulled out a pretty big lead on that first lap, some 8/10, looks like that's going to be pegged back. Wonder if it's interesting to see what exactly the procedure will be here, because of course as we've got an ambulance making its way, actually no, I believe actually leaving the scene, it looks like. Ambulance was out on circuit but appears to now be leaving, so that for the moment is good news, unless of course it is required to head over to the far side of the circuit. So the red flag, it looks as if it's going to be to repair the barriers, and also three carts is pretty difficult to clear away, especially over on that somewhat remote area of the circuit. And the drivers, as you can see on the stream, just being brought to a halt just at the Bruno chicane, so just before the straight that precedes the Hanger corner in Wilkins, where of course that incident took place. So we are under a what you would imagine is going to be a relatively brief red flag here at Shenington in our opening race of the season in the 2024 Daniel Ricciardo Series. An incident involving Jakub Milcharski and Oscar Cole, and Daxton Groves has brought out the red flag here.
Chcesz się zahamował. Miał wielki dzień z drogą i chcesz się zahamował. Nie wiem,
His brother's the famous one.
Ray
Davis.
Ray Davis. That's it. Yeah. You've been getting phone calls in the middle of the night.
Yes, I can
Tom,
say.
we've got Clive's number. Right, Dad. Ray.
Yeah.
It was Ray.
Ray Davis did a lot of the.
Yeah.
I was told. Engineering all.
Yeah, well, Ray.
Shutting down, baby.
He's a clever lad.
Yeah, he is. Not always
They won't go back.
Kosher.
to the letter.
But you got with FIA, you've got to be so careful.
Yeah, absolutely.
We ended up.
They're built Pete's engine. Peter take it back. And in the van, they won't, they catch up.
Back here at Shenington as the race here, our DRS100 heat is set to resume, although not without a word or two from some of the marshals about slowing down prior to the restart. So we have, or what we have certainly on our timing screens, what looks like a bit of a mixed up grid, but it looks as if, and certainly this is the word that we received, that it's going to be a fully fledged race restart. Interestingly, Jakub Milcharski is being allowed to rejoin. He came past us earlier, or you saw him on your screens with a broken front plate. They'll go around one more time after the red flag, which is standard procedure when you've got drivers trying to catch up. So it is going to be a full restart. So it'll be Freddie Farrell to lead Kai Newman, and we go again as if we never did have a start to begin with. So to recap, it'll be Newman on the outside of the front row. Farrell will lead them to the start, and then in row 2 we had Dorian Malik and Nyron Evans, Liam Karabelov in 5th, Cassidy Southall in 6th, making up the 3rd row. They come around the Bruno chicane, and this will be the point where they will have to get things slowed down. They seem quite well behaved at this point. And as they come around Wilkins, we should be all set for a start. Or a restart here in our DRS100 heat. So, a second chance for these drivers to try and prove that they're the ones to step up into championship contention in the absence of our top 4. Here we go. It's well, looked a little bit of a slow getaway from our front row, but eventually they do get in to Cafe Corner 1st and 2nd with Farrell leading. And that's Evans up into 3rd as we approach the Stratford hairpin, being challenged there. There's a move being made on the outside, and that looks like Karabelov. It is indeed up into 4th as we go down towards the chicane for the first time. There's no big lead this time for Farrell. Newman right on it, but there is a gap to 3rd place, and not quite a move there as they go through Wilkins over on the far side of the circuit. And here they come to complete the first lap of this restart. Farrell, Newman, 2 tenths in it, then almost a second back to Evans in 3rd. And it's Karabelov, Malik, Ben Hoy, Isaac Kite, Cassidy Southall, Cartoonskit Clarkson doing well up in 9th, and Maximilian Reed rounding out the top 10 as things stand. Through the chicane they go. No moves at the moment, but hotly contested at the front as looks like Newman is once again in position to try and strike, perhaps not going into Cafe Corner on this lap, as it looks like Evans has made up some of the deficit on this second lap. Gap from 2nd to 3rd down to 8 tenths of a second as Karabelov follows him closely through Cafe Corner. We have some side-by-side action 2 rows deep further back in the field. There's a couple of our novices getting involved in the action there as you look at Nyron Evans and Liam Karabelov on the stream. They go through the Bruno chicane. Looks like a black and white flag is being shown, I think, to Maximilian Reed there. We can just about make out the number 5 on the screen that shows over the start-finish line. So here's an incident on the previous lap, as that's Karabelov trying to get past Evans going into Wilkins. Don't think there was contact there, but it was certainly very, very close. And the gap between 2nd and 3rd again comes down 7 tenths now, or just under 8 tenths. So it's not much in it, only half a tenth between Newman and Evans on the previous lap. But Newman was faster than Freddie Farrell by the same margin. They come across the line once again. Looks like Farrell has pulled out a bigger lead this time. It is 3 tenths, and Evans is much closer on this occasion. Looks like there's a move here by 174. That's Josh Mills. It looks like he was racing. Appears to be Jakub Milcharski there that he was going by. And with 5.5 minutes to go, you get the feeling that this is maybe just the calm before the storm. There's a lot of drivers in position to make moves, but nobody making them yet. Liam Karabelov had the fastest lap of the race last time by with 44.998, which is incredibly quick for a race. Now here we go. Now here's a battle at the front. Newman looking for a way around going into the first corner. Oh, and slight... can't tell if that was contact there for Karabelov, or if he just got... Well, he definitely did get out of shape. Whether it was a result of contact or just getting loose, it was hard to tell. But he gathers it up well enough. And now the top 4 are right together as we enter the Brno chicane. Top 5 actually right together, as Dorian Malik is right there with them. Nyron Evans with the fastest lap on that previous lap, and that's how he caught up. 44.67 over him, and that is why we now have 5 right together. And 6th place, looks like there's a move for 7th there, as it was Isaac Kite who was ahead of Maximilian Reed, and Maxi Reed has taken that position. So our highest place driver from last season moves up a place. Maximilian Reed passing Isaac Kite for 7th. Ben Hoy is ahead of him, and he's the one that you can see on the screen there, right on, just not quite with the lead pack, but he's almost there. And there's a big gap behind him. They come to complete another lap. 4 minutes to go. Newman looking like he's ready to make a move, and he goes to the inside, and... well, that's going to give Farrell the position going into Cafe Corner, and that's excellent racecraft there from Freddie Farrell. He gave the inside to Newman there going through the first corner, and he knew that if he did that in Park Bend, he was going to have the high line through Cafe Corner. Looks like potentially there's a move there for 3rd. Just trying to see, did Karabelov get through? No, he didn't. As Evans holds a position for now, and that means that side-by-side action from earlier means it is now 6 drivers in the lead battle. Ben Hoy has caught them, as now once again we go into Cafe Corner. No moves this time, they're all still right together. Maximilian Reed pulling away from the pack behind him in 7th place. It's a 4-way fight for 8th, led by Isaac Kite, Cassidy Southall, Carter Insick Clarkson, all in that. As to is Joe Jennings. Down we come once again through Wilkins and onto the start-finish straight. They come past our commentary position in Cafe Corner. Could be one of those, you just wait for the last lap. Doesn't strike you as being that kind of race simply because the slipstream doesn't seem like it's that strong. It's normally that kind of race where you do wait to make a move. So I'm not sure that's necessarily what's happening here. And actually on this particular lap, Freddie Farrell is pulling away from Kai Newman. Is this going to be one of those races that just teases us? Makes us think there's going to be a huge amount of action, but actually they're all just so evenly matched and can't find a pass. No, it's not, because into 2nd place, Nyron Evans makes the move on Kai Newman. And now Farrell has to fend off a new challenger. Of course, what that move will do is help him pull out a little bit of a lead. He's got a couple of tenths there as he goes through Wilkins. Just under a minute to go. This should be the penultimate lap, but we'll see how it pans out. Running wide there in Cafe Corner is Darian Malik, but he holds on to his position. Falls back a little bit, though, from the three in front of him. Karabelov now is the one looking for a move, this time on Newman. He's been looking at the back of Evans for the entire race, but as Evans makes his move, it's now Newman that's in front of Karabelov for a spot in the top three. And Farrell looks like he might well be clear. You're not going to challenge him from there if you're Nyron Evans. You're too far back at this point, as there was a look there, a move for third place from Karabelov. Going into the first corner, and now they go down to the Stratford hairpin once again on this final lap, and it looks like Newman, he had a look. Is that going to compromise him through the exit? It doesn't. Karabelov is not able to make the move, and it looks like Farrell is just about in the clear, but they are going to go side by side down the Hanger Straight as Karabelov looks for a move to the outside. But smart positioning there from Kai Newman. And it is going to be Freddie Farrell that takes the win in the first heat race. And it's a brilliantly controlled drive from him from the front to the win, as Nyron Evans comes home in second after passing Kai Newman late on. Liam Karabelov was the one that looked most likely to make a move throughout the course of that race. Not able to get past Evans initially, and then once Evans got past Newman, he too could not get past Newman. And so a race that promised so much, and in the end, just that move from Evans gives us the result of Freddie Farrell as winner, Nyron Evans in second, Kai Newman third, Liam Karabelov fourth, Darian Malik fifth, Ben Hoy sixth among the lead pack. Just 2.1 seconds between the top six at the checkered flag. A intriguing race there, you have to say. Not quite the all-out action that we might have expected, given how they were so tightly packed together, but certainly one that whets the appetite moving forward as we continue things at DRS100s, and out on track already. Held on. In the end, it was points to flag in reality, I suppose. But if you actually watch the race, it was he was always under pressure. He was never really comfortable there in the lead, but he managed to hold on throughout the course of the race, and it was Nyron Evans that managed to pass Kai Newman to take second place. Liam Karabelov looked for much of it to be potentially the fastest of the lot, but he just couldn't find a way around initially Evans and then Newman going towards the final laps. Dorian Malik was fifth and Ben Hoy in sixth, and they're going to be looking to try and improve in this pre-final. They'll certainly feel like they've got the pace to improve, that much is for sure. So it's going to be Farrell and Evans on the front row. Of course, the DRS100s, none of the top four drivers from last season returning to the championship. Of course, Charlie Ratford very much still a part of the Daniel Ricciardo Series, as he is of course now part of the 125 category. As round the final corner they come, and we get ready for a start, and here we go as Farrell gets to the inside, gets a A little bit of a swapper on going through the first corner as Newman gets ahead of Nyron Evans to take second place. Almost out of shape there was Farrell going into the hairpin. We've got a full course yellow when we've actually had an incident right in front of us. Very difficult to tell from our commentary position. We've got two windows effectively, and the incident happened right between the two windows. It's 174 who is in the tyres. That is Josh Mills, one of our novices. If we'll get to see a replay of that, we were watching the front of the field making their way down towards the Stratford hairpin. Can't see any signs that there was anybody else involved in that incident. I'm sure many of you at the circuit would have had a better view of it than ourselves up in the commentary position. So a full course yellow at the moment is effectively
once they drop the flag, it goes, yeah?
an IndyCar style full course yellow, where we continue on until we are ready for a lap on which we can restart. So just to go through our order very quickly, because there were some significant changes on that first lap. As you can see, Liam Karabelov is up into third place, Nyron Evans dropping down 2 places, Maximilian Reed making up 2 as he moved ahead of Dorian Malik and Ben Hoy, Cassidy Southall in 8th, Carter Skip Clarkson in 9th, and Harley Drake up in 10th. So 2 of our graduates from DRS62, which of course sadly is no longer on the Daniel Ricciardo Series package this season, but 2 of the graduates up in the top 10 for the moment. Those 2 during the course of the weekend, but they're in the best positions they've been so far. As we get ready, just trying to see if there's any sign that we'll get a restart here. It looks certainly possible. There is, or there will be some concern. I don't think we are going to get a restart actually, because there's going to be quite some concern about the accident scene here, because there's quite a lot of water on the outside of the exit of Cafe Corner, and it's very, very close. It's not quite on the racing line, but it's very, very close, and if you hit it, you're almost certainly going to spin out. And with the supervision of our race director Matt Daniels, that water is being swept away as best as possibly can be. That of course simply a result of the overnight rain that we've had here in Shenington. And of course that very much being retained by the tyres, and so when the tyres get hit, that's the sort of thing that can happen. Looks as if they're a bit happier now with the scene there at Cafe Corner, although there is a worker just walking across the circuit just to take his marshal's post back up. So with any luck, we'll be going back racing now, and there is the green flag. And once again, Farrell getting a little bit out of shape in that first corner, but he gets through it well, and off wide, and I think that's a mechanical problem actually for 164, and that's Nyron Evans coming to a stop. So the driver that was second in the heat race earlier today, rolling to a halt on the restart here in the pre-final, and Nyron Evans will seemingly not make the finish. A bitter blow for him, and I wonder if we might go yellow. No, they'll push the kart back in towards where the dummy grid is effectively, and they'll do so safely. Is that side by side for the lead I'm seeing? Yes, it is. Kai Newman to the front. Kai Newman passing Freddie Farrell as they came down the start-finish straight there. And Karabelov, who was looking very, very eager to make a move throughout the course of the pre-final, is making a move now on the exit of the hairpin. Looks as if he might have thought better of it there. Just hard to tell because they're both single plates. Yes, he's stuck in third for the moment as Farrell holds on to the position. And Farrell, is he diving up the inside? He is. What a move by Freddie Farrell. Made no sign, no indication he was actually going to go for that there. It looked as if he was simply going to outbrake himself, but he made the corner and made the pass cleanly. And through they go. And Karabelov is in second. He's taken advantage of Newman being compromised there. Seeing a track limit warning for Dorian Malik on the screen. He's running in fourth place at the moment. And so, yeah, Newman, so that's what happened to him. He was compromised on the exit, and Karabelov just got down the inside, just around that left-hand curve that takes you on to the start-finish straight at the exit of Wilkins. Across the finish line they go. Battle well and truly on between Farrell and Karabelov. There's a little bit of a gap. Back down to Malik now, who's past Newman for third. And wide at the exit of Cafe Corner is Farrell, and Karabelov is in striking distance, and he moves to the inside, and Liam Karabelov takes the lead of the pre-final. And the driver who we thought looked most likely to make moves in the heat, well, he's making them now. But he has to defend going into Wilkins, and looks like he's just about held the position there, going through the hairpin. He has indeed, but Farrell looking to strike back. And looking, just keeping watching eye around the outside there. He's Dorian Malik, who of course has that track limits warning. The top six are very, very close together right now as Malik there nearly getting out of shape in the braking zone for Stratford. Through the chicane they go. The top six now even closer together than they were when we mentioned it a moment ago. Good exit there for Karabelov. He will lead them into... No, he won't lead them into Wilkins. Did he make a mistake there? Because it looked like Farrell just got very easily up the inside. Karabelov gathers it back together. But Farrell back into the lead. It's going to be very close, actually, to see if this is going to be the penultimate lap or not. The times are very, very close as to whether or not we have two more laps or just the one lap after this one. As here we go, we look at that move. Well, Karabelov just took a wide line into the hairpin there. Didn't really put up any kind of fight. I wonder if he'll live to regret it. There is actually a contact warning for him as well there for Liam Karabelov. But now he's right in position to strike back against Farrell. Can't do it there going into the hairpin. So this will be the start of the penultimate lap now. As Karabelov goes around the outside initially and tucks back in. And it's still any one of six drivers that could win this race. Karabelov to the inside, thinks better of it going into Stratford. Malik there. Newman gets a good exit from the hairpin initially, but then tucks back into the slipstream as they head through the chicane now. Good exit there from Karabelov. Newman in position to make a move there on Malik. Once again, good defending there from Freddie Farrell into the hairpin. Karabelov moves to the outside as they look to cross the start-finish line. And can he hold it into turn one? No, he can't. Farrell says no, not today. Into the hairpin they go. This time Karabelov forced to the outside. Will that hurt him on the exit? No, it'll help him because he's got side by side, and that should give him track position into the chicane. And Farrell holds on, but Karabalov could have it at the exit. There's a chance for Malik to make a move there. Farrell trying to hold on the inside, and Karabalov here might be boxed in unless he can get the exit. Farrell parks it effectively on the apex and then rockets away, and Freddie Farrell will win. That's fantastic racecraft there from Freddie Farrell, just scrubbing off the speed going through the hairpin there, effectively just leaving Karabalov no chance to make the switchback move on the exit. It's high IQ stuff that allows Freddie Farrell to take the win, and we wondered if maybe Karabalov would live to regret leaving the door open with a couple of laps to go going into Wilkins there, and that's exactly what happened. Freddie Farrell beats Karabalov to the win, and Farrell actually now, we talked about Sam Faulkner a moment ago, well, believe it or not, Freddie Farrell's looking at a clean sweep in this incredibly competitive DRS100 field. Absolutely superb stuff, a fantastic race. That really is what we were thinking the heat race could be. We got all the action there in that pre-final, and the result of it all is Freddie Farrell winning, Liam Karabalov second, Dorian Malik in third, Kai Newman fourth, Maximilian Reed in fifth, and in the end, the top 8 separated by just 1.6 seconds on the circuit. Absolutely fantastic action. We're hoping for more of the same in their grand final. And the grand finals are now where we will turn to, because we've got the DRS 35s back out on track for theirs in just a few minutes' time. And a day for them, of course, that has been so competitive, extremely competitive, especially in that pre-final with Freddie Farrell making the late move on Liam Karabalov to win there. And as a result of it, it actually means that he is looking, believe it or not, at the same clean sweep that Sam Faulkner just took in the 1-2-5. So the results might not suggest that this has been extremely competitive, but the on-track action tells you a completely different story, and that's the story that is very much the real one. Ready for them to take the start in just a few moments as they make their way around towards the Bruno chicane, and they're already pretty nicely aligned through the first 6 or 7 rows or so. It's going to be Farrell that will lead them down to the green flag. Kai Newman will be in second. Then it'll be Karabalov in third. And I'm trying to say, I think it's Malik in fourth, of course, because there was a problem in the heat race, in the pre-final for Nyron Evans. And yeah, so he's back in seventh, with Max Reed and Ben Hoyt on the third row. So here we go, getting ready for a start. And they go into the first corner. And Karabalov moves into second place, fighting the kart. So too is Newman. That's going to allow Reed to draw alongside him as they go down towards the Stratford hairpin. There's been an incident further back. 133 is in the tyres here at the cafe corner, but is already back underway. There's Xander Hughes as Farrell and Karabalov resume their battle from the previous race. Farrell has been making that signal that you've just seen on a few occasions. Or maybe just trying to say, look, stay behind me, we can pull away. I wonder if that's the message there. Warning goes out to Ethan Anderson. Wonder if he was involved potentially in that contact with Xander Hughes. As across the line they go for the first time. Farrell leading Karabelov. Newman in third. Malik in fourth. The third row. Reed and Hoy stay as they are. Wonder if Nyron Evans can maybe come through after that problem he had in the pre-final. After, of course, he finished second in the heat. He's still back there in seventh at the moment. As Karabelov sets his sights on the race lead as they go through the Bruno chicane once again. He's got a pretty good exit there. Pretty much even. Once again, Farrell makes a signal. Karabelov looks as if he's going to make the move to the inside. We're just watching further back at the moment as Farrell continues to hold the lead, but they're very, very close. The top three all very close to one another as they come across the start-finish line. No way through for Karabelov at the moment. I wonder if he's just going to scrub off a little speed through the apex to try and get the run down to the hairpin. Looks like that's exactly what he's done. And Karabelov takes the lead. And Newman there is going to try and take advantage of moving a second. But Farrell repositions himself for the run to the chicane. That's going to bring Malik potentially into the fight for the lead. You can see him there on the screen. The last of the four that are fighting it out for the lead. And here they go into Wilkins once again. Spinner about 5th, 6th, 7th, 3 carts off as a matter of fact. That's probably going to bring out a 4-course yellow, you suspect, as Karabelov continues to lead Farrell and Newman. And just trying to see who it is that hasn't come around. Looks like Daxton Groves potentially one of them. It looks like maybe Harley Drake is another. It's Harley Drake. Carter and Clarkson looks like it's one of the others. I think you might have seen it on the stream. We were looking at the what was actually going out on the circuit. They stay green for now. There are marshals out there recovering the carts, but we stay green for the moment as Karabelov pulls out a bit of a gap actually on that lap. Now 3/10 of a second ahead. And it looks like a 4-way battle for the lead at the moment. Reed in 5th a little bit back. And then Ben Hoy in 6th a little back as well. Josh Mills at the moment is the leading novice. He's in 10th. So there's one of the drivers that was involved. That's a 156. And that was... Or was that 158? It looks like 158, but there's a little dent in it. Because I don't think there is a 156 actually. So that would be in Skip Clarkson, and he is done for the day, and that's a big shame. We talked about the two 62 graduates earlier on that were both in the top 10 early on when we had that full course yellow in the pre-final. And they both get caught up in incidents in this grand final, in an incident we should say, because it was the same incident that they were involved in, of course. Top 4 remain as they were, but I'd be very, very surprised if they remain as they were through the entire rest of the race. Karabelov just pulling out a little bit of a lead, but it looks like Farrell, just in certain places on the lap, is able to keep in touch, and he's practically right back with him as they go through Wilkins. Newman looking for a move for second. He feints to the outside going through Park Bend there. And now in position to have a look into Stratford. And Farrell goes across to the inside to cover the position. That might lead to him compromising his exit slightly. And that allows Karabelov to pull out a little bit of a gap. Also allows Reed and Hoy to close in. We may even be looking at a 6-way fight for the lead in the not too distant future. Through Wilkins and past the start-finish line they come once again. Still plenty of time left in this one, just over 6.5 minutes. And the top 6 now virtually together. Just a small gap from Malik to Reed, from 4th to 5th. As you look through the field, stand still. Carabello, Farrell, Newman, Malik, Reed, Hoy, our top 6. Newman looking like he wants to make a move at the moment. He might try and go to the outside. He certainly looks that way. Farrell smartly holding the line. You probably have to say, if you just look at the way that the karts have behaved throughout the course of the day, as Ben Hoy sets the fastest lap, just getting into the 44.6s there. But if you look at the way that the karts have been behaving, the way that the drivers have been behaving throughout the course of the day, that a move for 5th place there? Yes, it is. Ben Hoy goes past Maximilian Reed there, but Reed's going to get the up and under on the exit, but it looks like Hoy has done enough to get ahead and keep the position. The top 4 now are split off from them, and they're right together. And Carabello, this is the smallest lead he's had for some time. Farrell going to make the move? Not quite. Is that a move for 3rd we just saw there? Just looking to see if we can look further up the field. Yes, it was. It's Malik, Dorian Malik taking 3rd place from Kai Newman. I was just about to say, if you look throughout the day and you look at the behaviour of the karts, it does feel like Carabello has been the fastest throughout the course of the day. And he left the door open, of course, in that pre-final with 3 laps to go as Farrell got by at Wilkins. I think he will have learnt from it. Farrell in striking distance here. And that's a perfect example of what we were talking about. Carabello does not take the wide line. He does not want to show Farrell any sort of door. Newman right up the tail of Malik as we go through Cafe Corner again. And Farrell looking a little bit squirrely there as they head down towards the hairpin. 4 minutes to go now. And as good as Malik and Newman are, just seems like a very, very tough job to break the stranglehold that Farrell and Carabello seem to have on this race. Past us they come once again. Newman once again very, very close through Cafe Corner. Carabello once again going to go to protect the inside. There's going to be a move here between these, somebody in this top 4. There has to be one before the end of the race. See, 174 is under investigation, just coming up on the screen above the start-finish line there. Josh Mills, leading novice, up in 9th place at the moment. Terrific run for him, but it might well be coming to an end. Farrell making the move, and Carabello hits him at the exit. I wonder if Farrell there maybe he tried to make a move and he just got it a bit out of shape and had to scrub off some speed, and Carabello could not avoid the collision. That looks like what happened there. And that's allowed Malik through to 2nd, and he's right on it. We're going to see the replay here. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Looked like Farrell tried to... You could see he was fighting the wheel, and he just scrubbed off that extra little bit of speed through the hairpin there. And I'm not sure that Carabello could have avoided that collision. They might well take a different view, of course, in the steward's office, as there goes Carabello up the inside now over Maddox, and Maddox lost places now to Newman as well, and it's as you were, Farrell, Newman, Carabello, Malik, the top 4. And right there is Ben Hoy, and he's one that hasn't been in the mix all day. Newman to the outside. Farrell holds the line there. 2 minutes to go, just under. 5-way fight for the lead. Maximilian Reed is there. Just about well, he's a second back the last time around. I suspect he's a bit closer this time, but not maybe close enough for a move, as that's Carabello at the inside. And he's taken Newman, and Carabello is on a charge. He wants that lead back. He wants to make up for what happened in the pre-final. But if Karabelov has looked like the fastest out there, Farrell probably has looked like the smartest. Here comes Karabelov up the inside. Just a look, no more than that. A minute to go. Might well be 2 laps to go when they come across the line next time. Or this time, we should say. Karabelov right under the back of Farrell, takes that wide line, looking for the run at the exit. Does he get it? Sort of, he's right there. So close as they come in towards Cafe Corner. As Farrell takes that wider line on the exit there. Don't think Karabelov's close enough for a move this time, although he looked like he was ready to make one. Through the chicane. Farrell once again making a signal as Karabelov looks to try and move to the inside. And Farrell once again closes the door. Malik a little bit too much speed in the final corner there, but he did get ahead of Newman on that lap. Here we go, last lap. Can Karabelov find a way? Almost side by side at the exit. This might be a chance. Farrell's going to have to defend the inside like his life depends on it. And Karabelov's going to try and pull the switch back, but I think he might have taken too much curb. And now Karabelov trying to fight to hold on for second. That might be the move, protecting the inside there, that's gotten Farrell the win of this race. I don't think Karabelov's close enough for a move into Wilkins. And it's going to be potentially a move from Newman for third. We'll see. No, it's Malik up the inside. And does he make contact there? They're going to go side by side. For third, it appears. Karabelov and Newman. And there's Hoy there. Well, who got it? Karabelov got it. By less than a tenth of a second between the three of them. Freddie Farrell wins. Malik with that last of the late breakers move into Wilkins, taking second place. And then Karabelov holding off Kai Newman on the exit there, and Ben Hoy was right there. They crossed the finish line. The three of them separated by just 8/100ths of a second. Less than a tenth in it. Here we go. We see it there. Malik looked like he was all sorts of out of shape, but he got it done. Couldn't quite tell whether there was contact there or not. And Malik in the end, nicking second at the last minute. And Freddie Farrell does indeed complete the clean sweep. I'm not sure you'll ever work any harder for a clean sweep than Freddie Farrell has had to do this weekend. He absolutely was just superb in qualifying. A sensational lap from him that really you just didn't see coming. But in the races, he's looked in control, in command, composed. And he takes all three race wins in the end. Liam Karabelov don't quite know how, because he looked like he had a win in him all day. But in the end, he's forced to settle for third in this grand final as Darian Malik snatches second at the final corner. Kai Newman in the end in fourth, with Ben Hoy, fantastic drive from him, in fifth in that five-way battle for the win. And that wraps up round one of the Daniel Ricciardo Series here in 2024. It's been a fantastic weekend of action at Shenington. Great racing throughout all four, of course, of our categories throughout the weekend. Of course, can't ignore the brilliant action that we saw from our DRS45s yesterday. Of course, you're going to see them on the stream next time out at Little Rissington, round 2 in 4 weeks' time. And we will have the chance to see you then. It's been great to have you with us here. Ben McPhillips joining you from commentary here at the round 1 of the Daniel Ricciardo Series of 2024. Don't forget, we've got our podium presentations coming up a little later on. So do stick with the stream if you are watching there to see the drivers get their rewards, and so richly deserved they are. But for now, in terms of the racing from Shenington, that is goodbye. Welcome to the podium presentation for round one of the 2024 Daniel Ricciardo Series here at Shenington. It's been an absolutely fantastic day, on such a huge day for the championship as well, and that's why Andy Cox is next to me. Just to remark on first and foremost, obviously huge success with the DRS45 and 35, the two arrive and drive categories making their debut this weekend. Your thoughts on that, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been involved. It's been a lot of work to get everything together. Not only, as you say, did we have the new arrive and drive 35 and 45, but we also had the introduction, obviously, of a new power unit for the 100 and 125s in the B&B. So they both won the races today. So that's the future for us moving forward, as is the 35 and 45. Lots of new drivers coming along, really close racing, karts were fantastic. So yeah, and the commentator wasn't too bad either, so it's all good.
All's well that ends well. Thank you, Andy. We will now start with our podium presentations, and we'll start with the DRS35s. How much they impressed today. That photo finish was truly tremendous. And we'll first go with our third place driver, who was Marcus Galanis-Sinai. And in second place, Jacob Kent. And our winner, triumphant in that photo finish in the heat and managing to get the win in the grand final, was Zach Jennings.
Well done, everybody.
And now we go over to our DRS125 podium presentation, and we'll first begin with our top novice driver, Jack Clayton. And of course, Jack will stay on the podium alongside our top three overall finishers. And in third place was Charlie Ratford. In second place was Ethan Critchley. And our winner in the DRS 125s was Sam Faulkner. And now finally time for our 100 presentation. And our top novice driver was Josh Mills. And now for our overall top three in the DRS100, starting with our third place finisher, Liam Karabelov. Snatching second place right at the very end was Dorian Malik.
Really good overtake.
And our winner with probably the hardest earned clean sweep you'll ever come across was Freddie Farrell. And thank you all for being with us here for round one of the 2024 Daniel Ricciardo Series. What an excellent set of races we've had, not just today, but also for the DRS 45s yesterday as well. That is it for us from Shenington. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time at Rissington.